The truth is always going to prevail. It doesn't matter the situation, what's going on with you. The truth is always going to prevail. It's always going to come to light at one point or another. Sometimes in life, you just want to just go all out. You just want to curse everybody out. You want to expose the fake. You just want to do anything that you can to let the world know that you've been done wrong, which is okay. That's a natural reaction. It really is a natural reaction. But be surprised with how little you actually have to say to people when they've done you wrong, because their character, their flaws are going to just keep piercing through to other people, and people are going to automatically know who this person is without you having to say a single word. Sometimes you just have to be quiet and just watch and just look at the people just dig their own hole for them. I have to let you know what's going on, because when I got done wronged, when I felt like I had to let the world know and I had to let everybody know how bad I was done wrong, when I had to let everybody in my job know how bad I was affected by the causes of the actions of the people that was ahead of me or above me, as you can say. When I wanted to go on a rampage, when I wanted to just let everything just air out all the dirty laundry, and I wanted to do that, I didn't do it. I didn't expose the injustices like how I could have when it comes to the people that I work with, because first of all, I've already been through this situation so many times before to where I'm just used to people always coming at me because they feel like I'm a threat to some degree or another. But not only was it that, the reason why I didn't feel like I needed to come forward about the injustices that have been done upon my name to my other employees is because of the fact that actions are going to show the person's true character, whether it is me saying it or if the person that has done me wrong just shows their character flaws to other people. It doesn't really require much for me to say. I just wish it never took this long for people to understand that these people that you guys have in these positions of authority and positions of power, I wish it didn't take this long for y'all to realize that the people that you have in these positions are not qualified to be in these positions. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because a couple of weeks ago, we were having a formation and things was just a regular day. It was just a regular day. And it's funny because it's so discombobulated the way things are ran in my organization. It's just too discombobulated to even begin to break down. Maybe a different day I could explain how poorly orchestrated this section is, but that's neither here nor there for this story time. But the story time I'm gonna give is about just a normal day. I go to PT formation. We didn't have no NCOs above us. Nobody was really tracking anything that was going on besides the people that give us our orders and things like that, like people who tell us what to do on a daily basis, which is a different entity of our organization. But they're still associated with us, but they're not really associated with us. And they tell us that all the people our managers are not going to be there, except for one person. And that one person that was there was not really even tracking what was going on either. He didn't really know what was going on. So then one of the privates was like, hey, we got to go over here to this formation because that's what the first sergeant said. And I was like, that's not what was put out. Saying usually whatever is put out is what's going on. You can't just change things because of what a person says, even though they probably are a first sergeant. If we were to go, let's say, to what the private said, that would have been put out, and that would have been told to us to just go to do that, but that was never put out. Okay, that's miscommunication. We do that. Private A, no, we're gonna just do this. If there's nobody here to take our accountability, then that's not on us. That's on the people that told us what to do, the managers. After we figured it out, the NCO comes and he's like, where's everybody at? All the managers. And then we tell them where they are. He's like, okay, let's just form up and let's get accountability and let's just do that. We do that, everything goes cool. The first sergeant goes to the front of the formation, he leads the formation, everything is just everything. Everything just goes on like how it is. And then after that, he tells everybody the whole company is doing the drills. But before we can start doing the drills, he comes towards our section and he tells me and everybody else who's in the 92 Yankee section, he's telling us that if you guys, manager is not gonna be at work, then you guys don't need to be at work. And he looked like he was a little upset, a little frustrated, a little irritated. He had to reiterate himself because we didn't believe what he was saying. Because what do you mean if our manager is not gonna be at work, we do not need to be at work? And you could see in his eyes that he looked like he was a little upset, a little irritated. And it's just interesting because of the fact that you coming to us, like this is something new that's been going on. Like this is not something I haven't told you a long time ago. You tell us this as if you're irritated, but when I was telling you this a long time ago, before I even went through my whole process with these people, you just took it as like it was something that could be washed away. Now that it's been a repeated pattern of this person in position who, in this manager's position, who has repeatedly, not shown up to work, not communicated with really anybody about what was going on with anything. And I told you about how that there was a disconnect between our supply chain because we don't have any type of communication. When I was telling you these things, it was all fun and games. But now that it's affecting you and your numbers, now that has gotten to a certain point, now you want to say this? He tells us this. It's shocking to us because where's this coming from? I don't know what goes on up at those levels. I don't know. Obviously, it struck him to a point to where he felt like he needed to tell us that and pull us to the side and tell us to just go home. Leave PT early, go back to your room, go chill. I still end up going to work. We still end up going to work that day, but it obviously was something that was a repeated pattern that got to him because he felt like he needed to tell us to just go home. And I'm saying all this to say because it's just one example. It's another example I'll give is just this past week, I was in class all week and I was supposed to be in my program to get up out of the military. I was in a program all week and I'm with my section. I was talking to them about, just life or just things that's going on. And it's like they have to express how they feel. And they're starting to see things from a perspective of kind of what I've been saying for months. Things are just it's corrupt. It's not ran properly. This is not how an organization or how our section should be ran. And they're saying this is kind of crazy. This is that, this is that, this is that. And I was just saying, this is all I've been trying to say from the beginning. I've been in the Army for a period of time, and it's just, they're still learning as they go. They're still trying to see what's good and what's bad and what works and what doesn't work. But the main thing is they're starting to see things from a perspective of this is not how an NCO should be handling business. I don't even have to say or speak on the character of this person because that person's character is becoming clear as day. People from the first sergeant's position all the way down to the private's position are able to see this person's character, see this person and how they operate and how they do things and how it's so ineffective, how it's so mischievous, how it's deliberately to sabotage the rest of us that the other people are even calling it out. Now me, I wipe my hands with the situation. I feel like it's you can only waste your breath on so many different things until it gets to a point where it's wasting your own breath. And that's why I've given up. I've been fighting the good fight for so long. I was saying that this is not done right. If this doesn't work, I need to leave. And they want to keep me in this position until they did what they did to me. And that's when I wipe my hands. It's funny how when it affects the first sergeant or it affects people of higher authority, that's when it becomes an issue. That's when it becomes a problem. That I didn't say all this a long time ago. But because I was a specialist, I wasn't respected. I wasn't taken seriously. It was just a laughing matter. Until I go into your office and you take my rank, take my position. It's funny then, but when it's affecting you, you look at me like, you look at us like it's something serious. Like this is so disrespectful. This is so heinous. And that's why the military has a problem with losing good people, good soldiers, good airmen, good Marines, good Coast Guards. Because the people who mean the most, who do the most, who work hard, who actually have good intentions and want to make this thing go, the people with the ego, the people with the higher positions, never back those people up. You only back up the people who always do exactly what you want them to do, exactly what you say. And the people who are good, hardworking people, intentional, want the best, but they just do things a little differently. They don't just go with what you say, but they actually have a brand. They have a different perspective. Those are the ones that you guys marginalize, you attack. And that's why I wipe my hands with the situation. Now, going forward, there's not much more I can do or I can give because it doesn't make sense. I'm leaving pretty soon. But what I'm saying is, it's just the hypocrisy that comes with this. I don't have to say too much on your character because the truth will always prevail. The truth will always come to light. I don't even have to say anything. And I'm not perfect. Like I always say, I make my mistakes, but the truth is always going to prevail. The truth is always going to come to fruition because of the fact that justice has to be seen. It has to be seen. Whether it happens the next day or it happens 1,000 years from now, justice will always be seen. It will always be shown. And you don't have to always speak on it. Sometimes you just have to sit back in the passenger seat and just look at that person that did you wrong or the people that are doing the wrong things in life and just sit back and watch them sabotage their own character. Because those people that are making those mistakes are evil. The people around them are going to notice that. They're going to see it. And then those people will come to their own conclusion and make of it as they will. And then handle it how it needs to be handled. Sometimes you just have to be quiet and just watch and just look at the people just dig their own hole for themselves. That's the beauty of it all. Leave a like on the video, subscribe, and share. And let me know what you guys want to see from me in the future.